Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about switch condition in R. Let us first understand the concept using a general and non-programming example. Suppose you want to decorate green muffins with roses, red muffins with small dots, and pink muffins with stars. This is similar to switch condition. Switch is a selection structure which selects one of the cases based on the value of the input expression. For example, in this case, we have multiple choices: roses, small dots, or stars, or big roses. And given the input, you have to identify the suitable decoration. If you get a green muffin, you need to decorate it with roses. If you get a red muffin, you have to decorate with a small dots. This is somewhat similar to the else if functionality. However, switch comes in handy when working with lengthy if-else if statements. Let's look at an example. Here, in this case, I have a vector called feelings, which contains two elements, sad and afraid. And you can see inside the for loop, here I have the path. Inside the for loop, I have the print function, which is this one. And the switch option here selects which one to print, which phrase to print. So switch will give the input will give the input for the print function. So in this case, we know for loop visits each element in the vector. First, it will take the element sad, and then it will pass to the element here, switch element sad. Switch map the corresponding output. So sad equals giraffe. If you get the input as sad, it will output switch option output giraffe. Now the switch selection for the first element in the vector is giraffe. So finally, this loop print giraffe. Similarly, at the second iteration, it will take the second element afraid. Now I equals afraid. The matching output is there is nothing to fear. Now the input to the print function is there is nothing to fear. And you will see the output here. The second output is there is nothing to fear. So in this case, you can see switch statement has multiple options to choose. It has multiple options to choose. Switch executes any one of the options by mapping the input. If I is happy, the output is I'm glad you're happy. If I is afraid, or if the input is the word afraid, the output is there is nothing to fear. If the input is sad, it will print giraffe. And if the input is angry, it will print calm down. Now, this is the syntax of the switch statement. First, here you have to pass the input. Here you have to pass the input to the switch condition. And here we have the outputs. The mapping of inputs and outputs. We have here the mapping. So if we, in this case, my x equals a, so the mapping output is apple, you are getting apple here. Switch condition operates only on top of a single element. If you pass multiple elements, for example, as you see here, you won't get any outputs. So this code is not working. Here I pass a vector which contains two elements. If you want to loop through a set of elements, what you need to do is you have to use a for loop. So here I put switch statement inside the for loop. So now the for loop iterates across the whole vector. It will first take element A and the mapping output is apple. You get in the output apple. The next iteration, it will take B, the mapping output is banana. You are getting here banana. So you can see switch is a selection structure which selects one of the cases based on the value of the input expression.